RoguesGalleryFitness. I'm Julie.
And I'm Aaron.
And we love building and modeling cosplays.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a couple years now, seriously, since I think late 2017.
Yeah.
We love going to conventions together and cosplaying characters from movies, TV shows, comic books, anime, video games, pretty much you
all
name
sorts
it.
Of different
all sorts of
fandoms.
nerddoms and things like that.
So we'd love to share with you guys a little bit about some of the pieces that we've made, some of the cosplays that we've made. So that's kind of what we're up to today. So thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks.
So what got us into cosplay, or like why are we doing this? I think we both wanted to cosplay. We both had like an interest in it, and we kind of like casually tried it out. And then we met each other, and it was like,
it started with Halloween.
Yeah.
And the year that we met, we really just went full bore on Halloween stuff, and that really extended into going to conventions, which we had both been to conventions before.
Right.
And so we started dating, we started talking about this, and this is one of the things that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so now we're married, and this is our huge shared hobby, is we like building things and putting together different cosplays and having fun and doing photo shoots and things like that.
Yeah, I think like it started really casual. Like we first met in 2012, and that following Emerald City Comic-Con, we went 2013. Yep. But we were just in like a store-bought costume.
Halloween costumes, Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but we had a really fun time, and then we just kept like upping the ante. Like we were like, oh, what if we made this? What if we made this? And like we just tried things out, and we like to joke that we're like a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
Like we've basically tried a lot of different things. We don't consider ourselves experts at anything.
Right.
Nothing. But we try things.
And we try making a lot of stuff largely because we're cheap. I think that's really where, there's a lot of makers out there that sell really incredible props, and they're expensive for good reason, right? Make no mistake, it's a ton of work that goes into building and making these screen accurate or movie, quality props and things like that. So a lot of times we'll look at that and we'll go, well, that's pretty cool. $1,000 seems like a lot. Let's try to make it ourselves. And so we'll learn new skills, from foam crafting, leather work, 3D printing, sewing,
all kinds of materials.
All kinds of different materials.
Cellophane and plastics and just anything.
Yeah.
We can get our hands
so
on.
Each new cosplay, we generally pick up a new skill. We're kind of like skill collectors, and we're working together. And she's good at some things that I'm no good at, and vice versa. And so pretty much each cosplay we build, we work together on.
We do. I think that like I'm more into like the little tiny details, like small things, and Aaron is like the big stuff kind of guy. You have this background, I know a lot of people already know this, but in automotive, so you have like a lot of like car experience with like painting cars, fabricating, working on giant pieces, and so you really bring that to the table. And I'm kind of an artsy sort of person, so I bring that to the table and combine them.
So my other previous hobby was in automotive stuff, so I like building custom cars and things like that. So I previously had painted cars and had taken cars to shows and things like that. So a lot of the material science type of work is really transferable to cosplay, and like getting a nice finish on a part like that really comes from experience of working on cars.
Right, and I have a little bit of a background in art and painting, drawing, sketching, jewelry making, like all kinds of random little artsy things, and that's really been helpful. Sculpting with making things for cosplay. We get a lot of questions about how we made Rescue. We put Rescue out because she's kind of our crowning achievement. We're really proud of her. This was our biggest build by far so far that we've completed.
So we get a lot of questions about how we built the suit, and so we have a two-part YouTube series going into a ton of detail about how we did it, but largely it comes from, this is 100% 3D printed, so it really started with good models from Do3D, and the software work to scale and size things to fit her body.
Right.
And then at that point we printed all the models, and there was a lot of work, you know, done there. If you're new to 3D printing, it's very different than like a replicator on Star Trek or something. It, you know, it comes out pretty rough, and there's a lot of work that goes into making it nice and smooth and looking like a nice finish. So yeah, we printed the models, assembled them, plastic welded them, painted, and then got to the point.
Sanding.
Yeah, tons of sanding.
Yeah.
And then added things like the LEDs for electronics, the motorized faceplate, and actually assembled them around an undersuit and a strapping system so that she could actually wear it and walk around and pose and things like that.
And it's not very comfortable, it's not very flexible. We get that question, both of those questions a lot, and I'm always surprised because it's like, well, you look at it, you kind of tell, but yeah, not comfortable, not flexible. But you know, it has a limited amount of mobility, and it's enough to, you know, walk around, do a few poses. And as far as comfort goes, yes, it's not comfortable, but we really prioritized making it as accurate as possible and making it a really nice snug fit, because we really wanted that proportion to look right, those proportions to look right, and to look very feminine. So we really pushed for that as much as we could. And you know, sometimes we sacrifice comfort and sometimes we sacrifice flexibility. Yeah. But that was just a choice that we made. So another heavy 3D printed build that we worked on was the Winter Soldier arm. So this is the female Winter Soldier arm, and yeah, it's 3D printed, 100%. We put in a little like cloth elbow section and some elastic to hold that together, and that's it. We came up with a harness idea that kind of loops around my back, and that was something that we did that's a little different than most of the male Winter Soldier suits, because most of them cross in the front. But I wanted to do a female version where the collar didn't go all the way up to here, and so for that reason we came up with a different harness that would go around the back. But yeah, otherwise it's a lot like most of the male Winter Soldier arms, but it's sized to me, and so it's a little bit of a more feminine shape, and it's a little bit smaller and more feminine. Yeah,
this was one of DO3D's models, and instead of taking the male Winter Soldier arm and just simply scaling it down, this is a new sculpt, and it's less bulky and overly muscular like a lot of the male Winter Soldier arms are. So we really like the model.
Really happy with it.
And then you know, for painting we used a mirror chrome paint. So the mirror chrome paint is kind of nice because it really gives it a nice, you know, really shiny metallic looking finish. And then we went over it with graphite powder to make it more realistic, metallic looking, and then painted the star with a translucent red automotive paint.
Yeah, really happy with the finish there. It looks like metal in a lot of lighting, and much more comfortable than Rescue, the full suit.
It's only one arm.
Just one arm.
Yeah, and the joint is we should mention that there is flexibility in the joint. You can see there. So we put in some elastic there that you can bend in either direction. Not a ton of movement, but it's enough to do some posing and you know, some different.
It's like hold a weapon or do a punch or hold a knife or something.
Yeah. So this was a really fun one.
One of my favorite builds is this pair of wings. These are giant, maybe 3.5 feet, 4 foot wingspan Tinkerbell wings that we made, and I hope you can see how translucent they are and that they've got this like iridescent shimmer. These are made, this side you can see them a little bit better. These are made of wire, and kind of a thick wire, and then we used a thinner wire for like the little details on these wings. But yeah, so we actually welded this together, but you could have done this, I think, much more simply with tape. And so if I were to do this over again, I'd probably do that. But I think it turned out really, really nice at the joints, and you can see all of these different little details on these wings. Really lovely. So I have a tutorial that I built about how to make wings like this that's on our Instagram. So just check our story highlights if that's something you're interested in. But really it's just wire and then cellophane. Pretty simple, but it took a while. It was, you know, it was a pretty large scale build. But I think it turned out really beautiful, and boy, when the sun hits it in a, you know, Tinkerbell costume and you got sunlight streaming through, it's just beautiful, and something that I'm really proud of because we worked really hard on it. Erin helped me with all the welding, and I came up with the design and, you know, just curved all this wire into place and put it together. And it has this nice little harness system that you can slip into the back of a dress or a corset or something like that for a fairy costume. So I would love to make fairy wings again, but it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. Yeah, every time I say something like that, Erin's like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to make wings again, but yeah, really cool.
So one of my favorite builds was for my my Captain America Winter Soldier costume. So the strike suit, or the stealth suit from that movie in the first act of the film, is really my favorite movie Captain America suit. So I worked with White Sheep Leather to get a screen accurate suit for that, and then I did all of the leather work to make the harness and the belt myself. The offerings out there just really weren't what I was looking for. I was really looking for something screen accurate, and so I designed all of the belt buckle and the little greeblies for the side details and things like that. I 3D designed those and printed those myself, and then I did all of the leather work, so all the stitching, all the pouches are functional, and they're screen, pretty close to a screen accurate belt. So I made the belt and then the shoulder harness, which the shield magnets onto the back. And so that's one of my favorite builds that I totally did from scratch, no pattern.
Now, was that your first time doing leather work?
It was my first leather work build.
It turned out really nice.
I'm pretty proud of this one. Yeah.
So another one of my favorite pieces that we built is this. So this is the second Wonder Woman corset that we built together. We built one originally just, built on hopes and prayers.
Yeah, we speed built it in a week. For a convention.
And you know what? It looked all right from far away, but when you got close, you could really see that it just it was just a piece of matte foam that we've kind of carved up, and it looked a little rough. So then we built this. We put a lot more love and detail into it, and this is actually from a pattern. So this is a foam build. This is all foam, and it's from a pattern from Epoch Echo Studios, and it's a beautiful pattern, and we're just really proud of it. I look at this still and I'm like, yeah, we did all right. It was the first time we'd done a really large scale all foam build, and especially with this level of detail, but happy with it. It turned out really nice. The back details are really lovely, and
that's really nice.
Just some work that we're pretty darn proud of.
So another piece that we really had a lot of fun with, this is, I don't know if we can get all of this in the view. So this is the Bow of Darkness, and this is the Ranger Slayer's bow. So the Ranger Slayer is the evil future version of Kimberly Hart from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. She was introduced in Boom Studios comic, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series, and they pretty quickly jump into alternate dimensions and things like that. It's very fun. Yeah. It's a cool series.
Kind of an evil Pink Ranger.
Yeah. So this is kind of an evil future version of the Pink Ranger, who hunts down the other Rangers. So so this giant thing is like 4.5, 5 feet long, and this was 3D printed from a pattern that we purchased, and we printed that and painted it and weathered it with an airbrush to give it kind of the nice dimensions. And then we actually met at the convention that we brought this to. We actually met. Let me see if I can do this.
Can you show the signature? Yeah.
We met the actress who played Rita Repulsa, and she signed the bow for us, which was really, really cool.
And we were really excited because she liked the bow.
We were super excited. We were in our costumes, so I was the Green Ranger, Julie was the Ranger Slayer, and so this was a really fun build, and it's kind of fun to do some of these large scale things. I can't even get it all in.
It's just huge.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah. So that was another really fun one. So.
Yeah, the really big pieces, like, they can be a real pain, but But they're so satisfying
super fun.
once you get them done. And we're really proud of some of the larger scale pieces that we've made. I think we started small.
Absolutely.
If we look back on things that we started making, like
one of our helmets.
First, we do helmets. We started with that, and weapons and little belt buckles,
accessories.
That was, things that we started with, and then we just
grew into a full suit of armor. Exciting future projects. So we have a couple pretty cool things we're working on this year. Obviously earlier this year we finished Rescue, and the complement to that is Iron Man. So we are working on, this is the Silver Centurion Mark 33 Iron Man armor from Iron Man 3. And the reason why I chose this armor to build, it's a little less common one, it's not as well known. It's because it's one of my favorite armors from the comic books, is his red and chrome, red and silver look suit. So I'm really excited to build this. This is a model from do3d.com, and we're about halfway done printing it right now. I think we've got the helmet, obviously, we have the chest, the upper torso, and both arms. And so we're working on the cod and midsection right now, and then going to print the legs. So hopefully in a couple weeks we'll have that all printed. We'll start the finishing process, and our goal is to use sort of the same painting and finishing and weathering process that we used on Rescue to kind of have a matching finish. So really, really excited for this build, and follow our Instagram along. We're printing and we're making things pretty much every day of the week.
It's going to be epic, and it's going to be huge.
It's huge.
So I don't know if you can tell with us sitting down, but Aaron is almost a foot taller than me. So imagine, Rescue, but like a foot taller, and then just huge with this giant, shoulder pieces, and it's going to just be
I think it's probably
epic.
15 plus rolls of PLA, and this model scaled up, I think, from like 25% larger than your average person. So it's gonna be really, really huge.
This is like 10 rolls of PLA, is that right?
Yeah, this is about 10 rolls. So
that kind of gives you an idea.
A third more. Yeah, it's gonna be huge. So.
Really excited about it.
Yeah.
So another thing that we're working on right now that we're actually pretty close to being finished with. So this is one that's like in progress, but it's almost done.
Getting there.
Is layout. So we are doing slave layout.
The Hut Slayer.
The Hut Slayer. Yeah, you can't really say slave layout.
Hut Slayer. Anymore. Yeah. It's been officially rebranded.
Hut Slayer.
Yes.
So this is the iconic metal bikini top piece. We're obviously going to be putting the little leather pieces on there, and there's a lot of small pieces to this cosplay that I think you don't really think of that. You just think of the bikini.
It seems it's really simple,
more than that.
But there's a lot to it.
And here's another piece just to show, this is a front piece of the skirt plate, where you have the skirt coming out from under it. So, we're working on it. We have a lot of pieces already. This is 3D printed, by the way. So we have a lot of pieces printed, but we are still doing the finish work, like painting, weathering. This is a painted and weathered piece to give you an idea of what the finish is going to look like. So you can see versus the shininess of something like this, or our Rescue. This is going to look a little bit grittier and kind of antiqued, because her costume for that part of the movie, it looked like it had been laying around, collecting dust.
Yeah, it's very different. We found, printing and finishing something to make it look old versus like a suit like this where you want to look there's a lot of sharp angles and a lot of symmetry and everything like that, whereas something like this, you want the opposite of that, right? You want some asymmetry. You want it to look
like this is a piece that hasn't been weathered,
kind of dingy. If we just stuck it in like that, it wouldn't be as good. So the weathering and the process is a little bit different, so it's kind of a trial and error for us,
Yeah, this has been really unique for us. It also is such a organic looking costume versus this is almost like a car. So it's really different. It's been fun working on something that's very artistic and kind of out there. So we're really excited to put that all together and shoot it. And
why the name Rogues Gallery Fitness? It's all my fault. So I'll be honest with you, the name's terrible. Sorry, everybody. we kind of want to change it, but you know what? It's kind of stuck, so don't know what to do.
It's been a couple years now, so.
A rogues gallery in comic terms is like a group of villains. So like Batman's rogues gallery would be Joker, Poison Ivy, you know, the Penguin, the Riddler, all those guys. That's their rogues gallery, right? Flash has his rogues gallery, and his group of villains are called the Rogues. And so the play on the name, or the idea of the name, was that you open our closet and it's like a rogues gallery in there, because between the two of us we have over 100 cosplays. And so we've done a ton of different, you know, characters from film and TV and comic books and anime and, you know, all sorts of things. So this is the idea that we basically have a rogues gallery in our closet. Turns out nobody knows what a rogues gallery is. That term is not used very much anymore, I guess.
It's a little bit rare.
So it was my idea. It's my fault. Sorry about that. That's the truth. And so the fitness part, I don't know if you want to talk about why fitness is in our name, because we're not a fitness account.
I'd love to. I think it's a little confusing,
it's
especially
confusing
to fitness accounts who usually end their names with fitness. But you know what? Like, there's something to it. So when we started cosplay, we had actually just, you know, when we kind of found it again after having some time off from doing any cosplay at all, we had actually kind of let ourselves go. Like, we'd spent a few years overweight, and I was actually obese. I tipped the scales at over 200 pounds at one point, and you know, we were really struggling with our weight and with our health and our fitness, and you know, we had not made that a priority for a very long time. But then we got it together. You know, we really made a lot of changes, and cosplay actually inspired us. You know, we would say to ourselves, like, boy, I'd really love to wear a Spider-Man cosplay, or, you know, whatever it is, whatever suit we really wanted to get into. And we'd say, well, I wouldn't feel comfortable, you know, if I wasn't, you know, fit enough to feel like I was really owning it. And that's just a personal thing. You know, we definitely don't feel like you have to look a certain way to do a cosplay, but you know, we both had some insecurities that had sort of built up over the years as we had gained a lot of weight, and we felt like we had let ourselves go. So when we kind of found ourselves again, got our groove back, and we were like, okay, like, it's time, let's get back into cosplay. That was the whole reason that we kind of tacked fitness onto there, because we were like, well, the cosplay kind of motivates us to be more fit, and the fitness motivates us to push it even further with cosplay. So
as she mentioned, to be clear, we're not saying that you necessarily have to have a level of fitness at all to do cosplay. That's absolutely not true. It was something that we felt within us inward that we wanted to try to achieve, you know, a more of that superhero physique. So between the two of us, we lost, I think, 140 pounds. And Julie actually went on last December to do her first bodybuilding competition. And so all of these pieces kind of fuel each other. So we try to push ourselves to do even more, you know, fitness heavy cosplays. And believe it or not, the Iron Man suits are that. Because in order to nail the proportions, you can't really tell all the time. But I mean, you can see the
small waist,
the waist, you know, to hip to shoulder ratio here. It's really demanding. And so that was something that, you know, the both of us, we wanted to push ourselves. And so we've done some really fitness heavy costumes, like you're going to do Slave Leia, that's one. I've done Namor the Submariner, which is basically a pair of mermaid shorts. And
I've done mermaid cosplays, like Ariel.
A lot of bodysuits and things like that, you know.
Really,
so for us, it's something that the cosplay fuels our fitness, and our fitness, you know, fuels our cosplay, and vice versa. So it's really something that that really we find is sort of unique. And then I like sometimes having fitness in the name, because we get to connect with other folks that are like-minded, and we get to share ideas and things like that. And it's been pretty fun.
Yeah, we've met other, you know, cosplayers who also, it inspires them, you know. We've heard some really amazing stories of people who, you know, lost weight or gained a lot of muscle, or, you know, just met their fitness goals.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever that goal happens to be. Because they said, well, I really want to look a certain way for a cosplay, and this motivates me, you know. So that's kind of where we're coming from with that.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for watching and, you know, listening to us blab on about our cosplays. We could talk for hours, but we won't do that. we're just really happy to be able to share this with you. It's just been a treat to be able to build things and share them with other people who, you know, love the fandom
nerds
as much as we
nerds
do.
Like us.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a blast, so thank you. And you know, if you liked what we talked about, you liked some of the props and cosplays that we showed off, I think we're most active on Instagram of all the social media things. So if you want to see more of this type of thing, it's on Instagram. We really try to post tutorials and like work in progress photos and, you know, things like that about our builds, so that you can kind of see how we're doing something, because we get a lot of questions about that from people who are also working on something similar. So yeah, we're Rogues Gallery Fitness.
Yeah, so huge thanks to Geeks Gonna Geek.
Thank
Been
you.
huge supporters of us and our builds and some of our cosplays, so we really appreciate you, and thank you so much for giving us this platform and opportunity to share. So yeah, we're just really thankful for that. And yeah, so you can find us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Gmail. We're Rogues Gallery Fitness pretty much everywhere.
All of those, yeah.
Fitness Rogues on Twitter, and less active on Twitter. But yeah, so we're also partners with do3d.com. So if you go to the website, there's a forum, and we've posted pretty lengthy tutorials, not just on Rescue, but some of the other things that we built, like the Winter Soldier arm, and some of their other items that we 3D printed. And we're also updating live weekly the Mark 33 build as well, at a much greater level of detail than we can go through here.
Yeah, so if you have technical questions, that's where to go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and please reach out to us if you have any technical questions. We're not really experts on anything, but we've gone through enough stuff, and we've
made a lot of mistakes.
Just a bunch of failures, you know, throughout the process. You know, we get failed prints laying around everywhere and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, if you have a problem or something, or question, something like that, chances are we've probably run into it before. So please feel free to reach out. You know, we're not experts, we're not teachers, but we're certainly happy to share, you know, our experience with you guys. So
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.